Hi everybody, welcome to Ask Mark, our scuba diving Q&A. You ask the questions in the comments section underneath this video on YouTube, and if you use the Ask Mark hashtag, then I and the Scuba Diving Magazine subscribers answer your comment so that you can get an answer as soon as possible. But as soon as I can, I turn that question into a video that might hopefully better explain and answer your questions, and other questions as well. They can learn about it because there are no silly questions. I'm still trying to recover after that 2-week away on the commercial course, so I'm trying to catch up on responding to your comments, so bear with me please. But today I'm answering a question from Walters about cylinder cleaning and funny tasting air. Hi Mark, I've recently had my second-hand cylinders inspected for the first time and was told they had signs of surface rust and had to be cleaned. My question is, what do they use to achieve this, as I've noticed that my air now has a slightly medicinal taste to it. Is this normal, dangerous, and will it go away after a few refills? Great videos, by the way, from all 3 channels that you've done. Yes. It ranges if they're cleaning surface rust. There are a few treatments for surface rust on the inside of a cylinder. Because you have a taste to the air after treatment, they probably used a chemical agent like phosphoric acid, diluted heavily, obviously, and then it gets put on, most people call it a tumbler, to make sure that it covers everything and reacts with that surface rust. And then they usually thoroughly rinse it out with pure, like, distilled water. If it's tap water, then you just get the minerals, and then you just run the risk of it flash rusting again. So usually they use highly distilled water, and then they invert it, or at least we used to invert it with like a high pressure air flow to really dry it out, and it's up there for hours probably, just to make sure that any moisture at all gets just flushed out at the bottom. Any taste to breathing air after a fill, after a test, whenever, is an automatic rejection for me though. If it smells or tastes of anything, really, take it back, talk to the filling station. I know a lot of people say never go back there again, but actually talk to the filling station, because it could be something that they're unaware of. I knew a case where there was a dive center and it was next to a hotel or something, and they put the inlet pipe for their compressor, so it's sucking air, like next to the adjoining walls, and for some reason the hotel like reactivated this, I forget what it was, like heating system that they hadn't used in like 10 years or something, but for whatever reason they just decided to start using it again, and now the exhaust from that was near to the inlet for the compressor for the dive center, and all of a sudden people were starting to get bad fills. They'd managed to trace it back and find out that, oh okay, great, it was that, and they had to relocate their inlet. So have a chat with your test center or whoever filled it, and just go, I've got this cylinder, physically give it to them so that they can check it out, and yeah, they can start going through the process of testing, because we have to do it so often. We get these little glass tubes and we have to check for certain contaminants, and there are certain allowable levels, but yeah, we basically have to check them. You can change filters and all that kind of stuff, and yeah, in that case, change where the air is literally drawn from. If it's, yeah, that medicinal taste, the acid usually is quite sour, a more sour taste instead of, but medicinal is quite vague or broad. But yeah, chances are, if they've been through that kind of chemical treatment and you can taste something afterwards, it might just be that they were either, I don't know, it is hard to say without knowing exactly. It could be, hypothetically, allegedly, whatever legal term I have to put in there, that they didn't flush it out correctly or thoroughly enough, and yeah, some still remained on the inside. It could be that. it's hard for me to definitively say that, obviously, but that's exactly where my mind would go. And then, yeah, what they'll probably do is they'll drain the cylinder, they'll probably give it a visual just to have a look on the inside, and then top it back up for you. Yeah, it's better to, I mean, I'd never dive it just because you don't know what it is, you don't know how it's going to affect you under pressure, and you don't want to be breathing that continually for an entire hour, no matter what it is. So no, just if you smell anything, taste anything, you're ever unsure about an air fill, no, just take it back. Have a chat with the dive centre. Don't go shouting and raving or anything. Life's too short for that. But definitely let them know first, just so that they can assess, because it could just be an isolated incident in that, yeah, they didn't flush out the phosphoric acids enough, or it could be another contaminant from the whole like filling stage. So yeah, have a chat with them. Chances are it's that, and it's only that. Give it a few fresh fills to flush it out, but the dive centre should do that for you because they were responsible for it, and it shouldn't have any taste or smell. Yeah, cylinders, you do have to take good care for them, and depending on like where they're getting tested, I think there are a few different ways, and the severity of the rust as well. If it's just surface rust, that's usually like a flash rust or something. That's just a light film on the inside, just so that you can. It just needs more of a chemical treatment just to remove that. Then they usually coat it with something else. I forget what it's called though, and that just helps prevent it to the rust from coming back. If it's pitted, where the rust is like eaten into one spot of the metal, then sometimes you can get away with like shot blasting it and just like cleaning it out, but then you're weakening the cylinder itself. So usually if it's just surface rust, it's just a chemical treatment in a tumbler. But yeah, any tests or any queries after a test or a fill and the air tastes a little bit weird, just take it back and have a chat with them. Otherwise, if you've got any other questions, pop them down in the comment section underneath this video. Use that AskMark hashtag to get yourself and your question featured in an up and coming video. Remember to head over to our website, scubadivingmag.com. Check out all the funky things that we do on the channel, and remember to subscribe to the Scuba Diving Magazine channel if you haven't already. Thank you for watching, everybody, and of course, safe diving.